Hello, I'm Bill LeMay, and thank you for watching Community Matters. We hope you'll continue to watch as we discuss issues facing our community and provide you with the resources and information needed to find solutions. St. John's Metropolitan Community Church of Raleigh has been working hard to bring people together and to fight injustices both locally and across the world. Their efforts include disaster relief, COVID relief, providing shelter, and fighting for human rights. Joining me now are Reverend Vance Haywood and denomination vice moderator Mark Godette. And to both of you, welcome to the show. It's good to see you both. Thank you for taking time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Well, let's start with you, Reverend, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a native North Carolinian, grew up in Robeson County.
Wait a second.
Okay.
I've never met a native North Carolinian. I'll continue.
Yes. I grew up in Robeson County, been here in Raleigh for about 15 or 16 years now. Been with St. John's for about 11 or 12 of those years and been there as the pastor for 4 years.
Oh, cool. And Mark?
Am I native North Carolinian? I'm not sure. I'm from a small town called Morehead City. I've been in Raleigh for the last 25 years. I've been at St. John's for about 15 years at this point. I was at the church and then I came back. I serve on the board of directors for a local church at St. John's, and I'm also vice moderator of the denomination as well.
Well, that's very cool. Tell us a little bit about St. John's for folks who may not know.
So St. John's is a church that was formed 46 years ago out of a small book study or Bible study that was hosted just off of NC State's campus with an intentional focus for the LGBTQ community. And since that time, it's continued to be a space where anyone could come, but especially folks who had been told that they didn't belong in church or didn't have a space in church. And continues to be a force for social justice and just a place of inclusion.
Well, I know St. John's is very involved in social justice, which we're going to get to in a little bit, but you do an awful lot for the community. And if we could maybe talk a little bit locally about some of the things you do, and I know one of those things is called the White Flag Shelter. What's that? Who wants to take that? Mark, you want to take that?
Oh, absolutely. White Flag Shelter is the space where we've opened up our church to give folks a space to come out of the inclement weather. It gives the homeless population a place that they can come in and have shelter. We feed them and give them meals, and just a place for them to come out of the shelter and for them to be, a place where they'll lay them heads, I guess.
And I think, it may have been you that I saw a news piece where you were talking about how important that is, because it really is a matter of life and death, isn't it?
It really is a matter of life and death. I mean, we know locally, just a county over, we've had 2 folks who died. Froze to death out in the elements, and with these back-to-back winter weekends that we've had, that fear is all the more real. And so we want to make sure that we have space for people to get in out of those elements and provide safe space for them, because one option is folks freeze to death, but even if you don't freeze to death, folks with medical conditions and other things that just can't survive in that type of environment, and it continues to exacerbate the existing issues. So yes, it's vitally important. We have 120 people that stay at the shelter every single night that it's opened. And we have about 40 or 50 that are sent to overflow shelters every single night. And that's just reality here in Raleigh.
How big of a problem is it? Sounds like it's a big problem.
Yeah, it is. It's a really big problem. Before COVID, we had 619 shelter beds in the county. With COVID and restrictions that got put in place because of that, we're down to just over 400. So we've lost over 200 beds in the county just since COVID hit. We also know that homelessness has increased in that same time frame. So now we're short 200 beds and have an increased demand on the sheltering system. And we already have waiting lists of hundreds of people that are waiting to get into the sheltering or into stable housing. So yes, it's a really big problem, and it's a growing problem.
Can we put a face on this? And what I mean by that is, who are these folks that need the help? I mean, I think sometimes people can stereotype, and I know that that's not true. Who wants to, would anybody like to share? Mark, you want to share? I mean, who are the folks that you're serving?
The folks that we're serving could be any of us. It could be folks that have medical issues. Could be folks that someone that's lost a job. Could be a mother, with her child. It could be a whole family. It could be any of us that are in the shelter at any given one point in time or the other.
That's pretty scary stuff. You had mentioned COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you have the shelter, but you do a lot of other things. How has COVID impacted what you do at St. John's?
COVID has certainly changed what we do and presented a lot of challenges. We had to restrict the ways we do some of the services we do and just modify. Instead of having an open space throughout the day, we have appointment spaces available. So it's impacted us in that way. It's also challenged us the way it has in many folks' lives, that we have to find new ways to stay connected with one another. And that's so important in the work we do, because relationship and connection is key in everything that we do. And so we've had to find new ways to be able to stay connected with folks, to maintain those relationships that we already had, and then also build new relationships with the new people that we see every single day in the shelter or in the day services center.
We don't have a lot of time in this segment, but all of this costs money,
Mm-hmm.
and people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pay for this?
The story, biblical story that comes to mind is the 2 fishes and 5 loaves
Mm-hmm.
of bread. We don't know sometimes. I mean, we knew that it was the right thing to do, and we stepped out and we did it. The church membership and the community has rallied behind us and helped provide support. We do have a contract through the city this year to provide the White Flag Shelter, but that's just the one component of it. So the rest of it has been done through the generosity of the church members and others in the community that found out about what we were doing and stepped up and wanted to help.
Well, God bless you for that.
This is what we've been called to do for a number of years. Maybe not at this level, but this is what the church has been called to do, is to help and service in the community. And at this point, I'm just so proud of our church, and just so proud of the work that each and every one of the members, not only inside of our church, but the congregation, but outside in the community, just helping each other and helping to kind of put all of this together.
Well, I can't imagine what the folks would do without you guys. Stick around. We had a lot more to talk about with Reverend Haywood and Mark Godette. So we'll do that right after the break.